Well, thanks everyone. I will jump here. I know it's about a 5-minute pitch, but my name is Cody Sumrow, and I'm the founder and CEO of BetterMynd, an online therapy platform for college students. And for me, the issue of mental health is really a personal one. I started BetterMynd because when I was a college student at Colgate University back in 2013, I started experiencing my own mental health issues for the first time, and it took me a really long time to, go to the counseling center on campus because there was so much stigma, so much shame in reaching out for help. So eventually I got help and, ultimately, I was lucky to do that. And I know that there's so many other college students that just have a similar experience, but don't get help. And, that's why I built BetterMynd and really the mission behind the company. At BetterMinds, we are working directly with colleges to provide their students with access to online therapy sessions from our licensed network of mental health counselors. And this is something that students can do directly from their laptops or smartphones. And it's really live video therapy sessions so the counselor and the student can see each other. Across the US today, colleges have been seeing a huge spike in the number of students coming to campus with mental health issues. In the past 5 years alone, the number of students seeking counseling has gone up 40% overall. And today, compared to just 10 years ago, students are twice as likely to drop out because of mental health issues. And half of students with mental health issues will not seek help at all because of stigma and going into a counseling center. And because of that, that leads to a suicide at an alarming rate. Last year alone, there was over 1,400 college student suicides. So it happens a lot more than people realize because it's something that colleges kind of sweep under, the media rug. But as you can imagine, it does present a huge PR and liability nightmare for colleges in dealing with mental health. So for BetterMinds, our solution is really geared towards offering online therapy solutions for colleges. And we do so by recruiting our own network of counselors, licensed and located in the states they're working with the students, so that we can provide really supplementary and additional counselor capabilities for each college. We help them to do that to prevent dropouts, reduce their liability, and essentially, help them, save student lives. For students who go to a college counseling center today, they might be offered 4 to 6 sessions covered by a student health fee per year. But for most colleges, they have waiting lists that are weeks long. And for students who are not willing to go there or who are abroad or studying online, don't have access to on-campus services. For BetterMinds, our counseling is something students can do from anywhere. They get matched with a counselor or can choose a counselor based on their preferences. Within a couple of days, they have that first session. And as I mentioned, it's from their phone, live video therapy. So students don't have to travel or go into an actual office. Ultimately, BetterMind's vision is to be the core operating and wellness platform for colleges across the country, adding additional services like medication management and psychiatry, 24/7 crisis services, and really making this a tool that the on-campus counseling centers can use as well. As far as the cost of counseling, the average price per session on a college counseling center is about $170 per session when considering, the salaries, benefits, and overhead of each session. And BetterMynd, that cost is closer to $85 to $95, about half of what college counseling centers are paying. There's currently about 5,000 colleges, in the US who present viable prospects. And, last year alone, they spent $5.3 billion on their mental health services in the US. So it's a big and growing market and really represents, our total addressable market. There's a few different college segments which we target. I'll kind of skip this in the sake of time. But as I mentioned, there's about 5,000 colleges in the US. And as far as our current go-to-market strategy, we're focusing more on smaller to private colleges that, for for certain reasons are able to move quicker and tend to invest more in their student services. Looking at our revenue model, we essentially charge schools two fees. One is an annual fee based on their enrollment size, which really covers, the technology, the recruiting of counselors, and billing. And then we also allow them to purchase a certain number of sessions to really cover a number of sessions for their students each year. And the more sessions, they purchase, they, get volume discounts. So here you can see a few package examples I'll run through very quickly, but essentially, we see in 3 years, the average revenue of a college we're working with to be about $70,000. So we see a lot of upside, especially as more colleges have online students, and this is really a growing market where on-campus services are going to be harder to come by. So I think the cost of a counseling session that we're really paying our counselors right now is about $65 a session. Looking at our current traction to date, we're currently working with 8 colleges located primarily in New York State and Colorado. We have 150 counselors, in our network. And to date, we've had over 6,000 students who've used the platform and some of our self-help resources. And over 1,500 sessions have actually been conducted to date. We also have an official partnership with Mental Health America, who's the largest nonprofit in the U.S., mental health nonprofit, I should say. Just want to check on time here because I can't see it on my screen. Okay, this may be. I will run through competition quick, but essentially, there's different digital health platforms out there today. We're focused on the college mental health market and really being, as I mentioned, the core operating platform, which differentiates us from other who are not, other services not focused on specifically the higher ed market. To date, I've been, BetterMynd's only team member. We are currently in the process of hiring our first CTO, as well as our first sales rep. And I spent 3 years in DC working at a company called Aon in Washington before starting BetterMynd. But I'm a Rochester, New York native, and currently in the process of moving to Buffalo, to build out our core team there in the redeveloped Seneca One Tower. Our advisory board, very quickly, 2 folks you may know, all of these folks have really helped us early on to build our company while we've had, 1 team member. But the 2 that you may recognize are Eric Reich and Michael Wiesman, the co-founders of Campus Labs located in Buffalo. And they've been, super successful in their company and also in the higher ed marketplace, but a different type of service. So I've been very fortunate to have them as advisors working with us to really break in and learn how to better sell and package for higher education. Our financial projections I'll run through quickly. Last year we did about $60K in revenue working with 6 colleges. This year we're going to be working with about 20 and making about $330K in revenue. Within 3 years, we're going to be looking to be doing $15 million in revenue working with 250 colleges. Currently, we're in the process of raising our first seed round, which Launch New York has led and been a part of. And you can see the terms on the right here, which we're seeking an additional $250,000 because we have already raised half of the rounds. And with that, I know I've probably run over my time, and I will open it up for a few minutes of Q&A, I guess.
No, actually, you're good. You've got 5 minutes. So any questions?
Hey, Cody.
Mm-hmm.
This is Leon Green. Turn on my video here. What's the secret sauce here? I mean, obviously you've got a network of people lined up, and you've generated some opportunities to connect them. Sounds like your revenue model in part is commission on the fee structure that's negotiated for those therapists. what's the secret sauce to what you're doing that makes you different from any other business that would try to do this?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think our secret sauce is, as I mentioned, really focusing on higher ed, which is a different beast and a different market, than other college. I was talking to, someone from Stanford earlier today, their director of wellness, talking to MIT on Friday, and colleges are looking really for specific solutions, because they have different needs for their students who are international or needs people who speak different languages, who are located and licensed in different states. So there's all sorts of different sorts of hoops they have to jump through that we're kind of helping them to do directly that, is much more tailored than more generic services.
Cody, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, how do you assess quality of the people you bring on your platform as counselors?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we, both on the front end, we do a thorough vetting and recruiting process. Because of the way the state laws are, we have to recruit state by state. So counselors are working with students, in the same state they're licensed and located in. So we recruit on a state by state basis, and kind of do that based on the schools we're working with, which were more based in New York right now. But each college, colleges have, different referral networks they use. So we're able to kind of tap into statewide referral networks to bring on counselors that are experienced working with college students.
Okay, I think we have time for one more question. I'll ask a question. So in the times of COVID-19, how is your recruiting colleges going?
Yeah, that's there's two sides of the coin, to be honest. One part is there's a lot of need for mental health services right now, and colleges are realizing that more than ever. But there's a lot of uncertainty in their market and where their students are even going to be this fall. So, but I think with that change and with that uncertainty, we really see an opportunity to be at the forefront, helping colleges go through this. And more than ever, they're relying on technology to do that. So.
We've got 1 minute. Anyone else?
Awesome.
Cody, what kind of gross margin can you get in this business?
Yeah, within a couple of years, we're thinking our gross margin will be about 43 to 45%. As we expand, we see us, actually, eventually hiring our own counselors in states, and that also helps a lot with the margins. But different ways that we, can actually make pretty decent margins.
Okay, well, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.